Everyone wants to know the answer to this
Wilder,
question.
Wilder. He's got the belt. I've got the 4 belts. WBO, WBA, IBF, IBO. All I need is a WBC. If he's ready and wants to prove he's the best in the world, he can come see me.
Knockout. But I instead of remembering that, that's what I do. I knock people out for a living. I got a true ability. I'm a freak of nature in this sport. I don't have to push or rush nothing. And his style of what he was doing, it was easier than what it seemed.
I like Jake, just say that. But listen, he done give everyone what they wanted, knocked him clean out, yeah? Not me, but everybody else. And now they're on about, let's do a Wilder warm-up. Why do they want to fight Wilder for? Fight the fucking Gypsy King. Fuck Wilder, he's a bum. I've battered him 3 times. Wilder,
Joshua, Netflix, everybody. So I think they'll be looking at a slightly easier option for Anthony Joshua to, like Tyson Fury had, with all due respect, and then move straight into that fight.
So you're looking at AJ fighting this warm-up in July and then Fury in November?
100%.
So that's...
Anthony Joshua sends a clear warning to Deontay Wilder during a live interview after their heated airport clash. AJ makes it obvious that Wilder crossed the line, and now there's no going back. He states face-to-face that if they meet in the ring, it won't be about words anymore. It will be about dominance and punishment. Wilder quickly fires back with intensity, dismissing Joshua's warning and escalating things even further. He claims AJ is the one avoiding the fight, suggesting that all the confidence Joshua shows is just talk when it comes to actually stepping into the ring.
In front of 100,000 audience, so I'm very keen to make that fight, but no fantasy contracts. Just reality, you know, bringing our worth to the table and bargaining and negotiating what we're worth and making this fight.
His tone is sharp and almost mocking, doubling down on the idea that Joshua is hesitant. Joshua responds in a calm but firm manner, making it clear this fight isn't about ego or one fighter ruling the division. He explains that both men are in a rare position without mandatory obligations, meaning the fight is easier to make than ever. AJ shows full willingness to step in, but shifts the responsibility onto Wilder to move from words to action. His message is controlled, direct, and focused on business.
You're definitely scared. Either he's scared or his people are scared. You know, a lot of people want to say that. Well, you know, they're fighters. They can't be scared, but you can. You know, life is scary itself, and you know, like I tell people all the time, we risk our lives in this ring for others' entertainment. And if risking your life is not scary at all, then I don't know what is.
Tyson Fury adds fuel to the fire with a confident take, showing respect for Wilder's willingness to face dangerous opponents and elite competition.
Anthony Joshua needs to prove himself on the world stage because he's so happy fighting in England, and he fought a beaten Klitschko after I'd destroyed him mentally and had a war with him in a beaten fighter. So he needs to prove he's willing to step up.
He praises Wilder for consistently stepping up against top fighters and proving his power at the highest level. At the same time, he questions Joshua's record on the global stage, suggesting AJ still has something to prove. His words add more heat to the ongoing heavyweight debate.
I mean, we have made it clear that we are willing to fight Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury back to back. And I'm not being disrespectful that Wilder is a warm-up fight, but AJ's very comfortable to go into that fight next. That's not the basis of the deal that we've been offered, but it's definitely one we're interested in if it was offered. And if they want to look at that route, I think some might perceive that to be a more dangerous option, especially when there's so much riding on Tyson.
Eddie Hearn confirms that discussions and contracts are already moving forward for Joshua's return. He emphasizes that AJ is being carefully prepared after recent setbacks and is fully focused on returning at his best.
More intensified for me. I'm the man with the big right hand, baby. I possess all the power. I'm the most dangerous heavyweight in the business, period, to this day. Okay. You know, so.
Hearn also makes it clear that Joshua is open to facing both Wilder and Fury, even back-to-back, showing serious intent for the biggest fights available. Deontay Wilder speaks with raw aggression, turning the rivalry into something deeply personal. He reflects on past tensions and claims they've only increased his desire to hurt Joshua. His tone is intense and threatening, suggesting that when the fight happens, it won't just be about winning. It will be about inflicting real damage. Anthony Joshua answers back with strong confidence, stating he is fully ready for the challenge.
But that's high-level competition. I won't kind of go over everything that I've been studying about him, but let's just say he's got a good mindset. He's spoken a lot, So you know where his head's at. He's game in it, and that'll be good enough for me. That's good enough.
He openly admits that the intention to hurt his opponent is part of competing at the highest level, not personal hatred. AJ also acknowledges Wilder's danger, his power and unpredictability, while making it clear that facing that threat brings out his best. His mindset appears focused, serious, and locked in for a high-stakes battle.
He believes he can beat Deontay. Well, maybe he does, maybe he wants to come back, maybe he wants to fight again, but what happens in that fight? Anthony Joshua in one corner, Deontay Wilder in the other corner, they come together in the centre of the ring. What happens? I honestly can't say what happens. I think if Deontay Wilder throws a couple of meaningful right hands and connects on AJ's chin, then the fight's over. AJ will be knocked out.
Max Kellerman then breaks it down from a strategic and financial angle, explaining the balance between risk and reward in a potential Joshua versus Wilder showdown, highlighting why this fight remains one of the most compelling yet complicated matchups in boxing.
AJ was stood there looking a bit weird and a bit like confused, like, am I going to do anything? Am I not going to do anything? And Wilder, I think, said, let's do it next, let's do it, let's get it on. And AJ just sort of, he didn't say much. I think he might have said, you don't want this, or something to them lines, but never really tried to get the fight going. I think AJ's got this thing in his head where I don't think he's sure of himself. If he thinks about fighting Deontay Wilder, does he believe he can?
Max Kellerman explains the situation from a business perspective, pointing out that Anthony Joshua already earns huge money fighting in front of massive UK crowds. From that angle, taking on a dangerous puncher like Deontay Wilder doesn't guarantee extra reward. Wilder's knockout power makes it a high-risk, low-reward scenario, a fight where the danger may outweigh the financial benefit.
Deontay Wilder knows how to sell a fight, and he's already called out Joshua. That's a big fight. I mean, like I said, I'd love to see him walk away from the sport. Wilder, I'd like to see him say, you know what, I've had enough, but he's already got his eyes on the next one, potentially a fight with Joshua. It's not a good fight to take. It's not a good fight to take. You know, Joshua's a big, meaty guy. Joshua's right hand's like probably the hardest. He's probably the hardest punching heavyweight right now. For me, personally, I think he hits harder than.
Carl Froh questions whether Joshua truly believes he can beat Wilder in a real fight. He highlights the threat of Wilder's right hand, saying one clean shot could instantly end the contest.
Wilder's snapper's gone. Wilder's TNT has gone. Wilder's that punch is gone. He couldn't even let it go. He's just gone. So I don't believe that. I think Carl might be set.
Froch stresses that AJ must enter the ring with complete confidence, because even a small mistake could decide everything. That level of danger makes this one of the most unpredictable matchups in boxing. Froch also points to a tense moment after a fight where Wilder pushed for the matchup while Joshua appeared slightly hesitant. According to him, that moment raised doubts about AJ's mindset and whether he fully trusts himself in this rivalry.
It's all eyes on getting AJ whatever works best for him, whatever the right route back is for him. There's discussions ongoing. AJ's the hot ticket. You know, everyone wants to fight Anthony Joshua. So
it adds a psychological layer, suggesting the battle isn't just physical, it's mental too. Duke McKenzie offers a more balanced view, explaining that Wilder understands how to build hype and draw attention, especially with his call-outs.
I thought he looked better. Listen, Chisora's not easy. Do you know what I mean? He's a tough man. He's not an easy guy to beat. Obviously, I wasn't impressed with Wilder, but I was more impressed than I thought. If that makes sense.
However, he questions whether this is the right move for Wilder at this stage. McKenzie also highlights Joshua's size, strength, and punching power, even suggesting AJ might hit harder.
I do not see a Wilder knocking out Joshua. I just don't see it at this point. I don't see him. His jab is not good enough. He could possibly land one of those.
His overall point is clear. Both men are extremely dangerous, and this is a high-risk, explosive fight that could end suddenly. Johnny Nelson delivers a bold opinion, suggesting Wilder may no longer have the same explosive knockout ability that once defined him. He argues that the feared right hand may have lost some of its impact, and the intimidation factor isn't what it used to be.
Say he said, she said, he said, she said. I think in the reality and the scheme of things, it's a fight that we have to have. We're both in the same generation, the same era. We're both heavyweight champions of the world. So with that being said, as I said, like, there's no fantasy contracts. It's a situation where it's reality. Like, I don't like coming to a stage in my career when I'm just talking about what I'm worth and negotiations and what we're bringing to the...
While he doesn't completely dismiss Wilder, his tone shows clear doubt about whether Wilder can still dominate elite-level opponents the way he once did. Frank Smith shifts the focus to Joshua's future, emphasizing that all attention is on planning his next move.
Jay has two options on the table. And the reality is, after that win, I think people would be very fucking interested in watching Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. We never got it. We always wanted it. Yes, it isn't them in their prime. I don't care. I'm a boxing fan. I want to see them two fight each other. In fact, it's even more interesting on some levels now, because I don't know what the fuck either of them are going to look like in there against each other and how much AJ has got left. And he's been through a lot lately. I'd love to see him back in the ring after everything he's been through. It was great seeing him ringside, enjoying himself, seeming positive, enjoying the boxing.
Multiple options are being discussed, with the priority being the best possible path back into major fights. He describes Joshua as one of the biggest attractions in boxing, with top fighters lining up for a chance to face him, and confirms that major negotiations are ongoing behind the scenes. Finally, Eddie Hearn reflects on a tense exchange where Wilder called for the fight and Joshua responded with a calm, focused reaction. He confirms AJ has no hesitation in taking that challenge. Hearn also notes that Joshua looked sharper both physically and mentally, even after facing a tough opponent like Derek Chisora. However, he admits that Wilder's recent performances haven't been entirely convincing, keeping the debate around this fight wide open. Eddie Hearn admits that while Deontay Wilder hasn't looked perfect recently, there's still enough improvement to keep him dangerous. The overall feeling is cautious. This fight is very much alive, but it all depends on timing and both fighters being fully ready. Counterpunch boxing takes a more direct stance, arguing that Wilder may no longer be a consistent knockout threat to Anthony Joshua. Their view is that Wilder's jab and setup lack the sharpness needed to reliably land his signature right hand. While his power is still respected, they believe his chances of landing a decisive shot are limited at this level. According to this analysis, Joshua has the tools to control the fight and neutralize the danger before it fully develops. Anthony Joshua himself makes it clear this fight is no longer optional, it's necessary. He emphasizes that both he and Wilder belong to the same era of heavyweight champions, making this clash unavoidable. AJ stresses that negotiations should stay realistic and focused, not driven by hype. His tone is serious and determined, showing he sees this as a defining moment that must happen before their careers move in different directions. Pain Game expresses strong excitement about the long-awaited showdown, calling it one of the most demanded fights in boxing. They point out that even if both fighters aren't at their absolute peak anymore, that actually makes the matchup more unpredictable and intriguing. Joshua's recent struggles and comeback journey only add to the storyline, making fans even more eager to see him tested at the highest level again. Everything now points toward one massive collision that could define this era of heavyweight boxing. Anthony Joshua stands at a crucial moment. A win over Wilder could silence all doubts and reestablish his dominance. But if Wilder lands one clean right hand, the entire narrative could flip instantly, shaking up the division. Mentally, Joshua appears focused and composed. Wilder, on the other hand, brings chaos, raw power, and unpredictability, a combination that can't be ignored. In the end, it comes down to mindset under pressure, the calculated technician versus the explosive knockout artist. Both fighters have everything on the line. So now the question is simple. Do you back Anthony Joshua to control the fight, or will Deontay Wilder deliver another shocking knockout? Drop your prediction and join the debate.